Hi everybody, my name's Jude. I'm a health science student with the Open University. I've also completed a health and social care degree with the Open University, and two of those modules were in health science. I come from a medical family. I've worked in several hospitals and I'm an advanced first aider. On the other side of the coin, I am in one of the at-risk groups because I have multiple chronic illnesses, or actually several at-risk groups. And so I've had plenty of practice at what I'm going to explain to you today. Just before I start, I want to mention that I will be looking down because I need to be able to look at my notes. I want to make sure I don't miss anything out. And I also want to say hi to my friends at Holy Trinity Spittal who've come over from the link on the church website. So hi there guys, it's good to see you. And I'm going to start off with something that, a whole bunch of stuff that everybody needs to be doing. So to begin with, if you're not in any of the at-risk groups, hand washing with soap and water will be enough. Unless you're out and about and you haven't got access to a sink, you don't need hand sanitizer. You can get the lovely little 60ml bottles of hand sanitizer that you can slip into your bag. That will be great for when you go out. There's no need for anybody who isn't in an at-risk group to be buying the bigger bottles of hand sanitizer. When you're hand washing with soap and water, you need to be hand washing for at least 20 seconds. And you're looking at washing from approximately here upwards rather than just the hand. There's a doctor that was mentioned on the web who will sing happy birthday to himself twice to make sure that he's washing for the minimum 20 seconds. When you do wash your hands when you're coming in from being outside, make sure you dry them with paper towels. Now the reason for this is because when you're coming in from going out, you're carrying all sorts of bugs of, you've touched the door handles in places, you've touched this, you've touched that, and you're bringing in bugs that have come from outside, bugs that are not in your family, and you don't want to introduce them to the house. So by washing your hands and drying them with a paper towel, any germs left on your hands in the water basically will come off onto whatever you dry it with. And so if you're drying it onto the paper towel, you can catch it, bin it, kill it, and put it in the bin, and it's gone. And the germs will die in the bin. And whereas if you were to do it on a fabric reusable towel, then somebody else comes along and whatever's come off of your hands from outside, they will pick up some of that on the fabric towel. So once you've been out, best to dry your hands with a paper towel or kitchen roll, whatever. The catch it, bin it, kill it originally came from the cold and the flu, but it applies to the coronavirus. And so if you sneeze or cough into the tissue, then you bin the tissue and the germs will die in the tissue. Once you've done that, you need to be washing your hands or hand sanitizing your hands if you can't get to a sink. If you do go out and about, whatever you do, please don't touch your face. I know it's easier said than done, but if you do touch your face, all it takes is a gust of wind in the wrong direction and you can be swallowing stuff, you can be inhaling germs, and I won't go there. When you do go out, make sure you sanitize your hands regularly and avoid using public toilets unless you absolutely have to. When you do go to the public toilets, my first choice for hand drying would be paper towels. My second choice would be the hand dryers. The reason being that with hand dryers, there's water splattering off all over the place, being blown by the hot air. And that whatever nasty bugs are in those water droplets, they're going to go with it and they're going to, If you do go to a public toilet and they only have a reusable fabric towel, please find somewhere else. I would never ever recommend using a reusable fabric towel in a public toilet. They shouldn't be doing that anyway in 2020. Let's leave it there. When you do come home after being out, as well as washing your hands, make sure you clean your phone or glasses, anything that you've touched while you've been out. What I do for my phone when I've been out is I'll get a Dettol wipe and I'll just wipe it across the top, around the sides and on the bottom. And what will happen is the Dettol will evaporate from that, so you don't need to worry about drying it. Now, I've had several phones and this particular one is more protected than the ones I've had before, and I've never had any problems by doing that. Also, while you're out, make sure that you maintain the distance of 2 meters or 6 feet. And don't be afraid to remind strangers that that's what they need to be doing. Because apart from anything else, even if they are not so cautious, they shouldn't be choosing for you whether or not to be that cautious. So yeah, just politely ask them to respect the 2 meters stroke 6 feet. And if they start to get upset about it, just say, look, coronavirus is going around, we need to be careful. When you're out also, please stop using cash. Cash is a harbour for all sorts of nasties, drugs, and obviously in what we're concerned about here is germs. So please avoid using cash as much as you possibly can. Whether you're in or out, you need to be constantly sanitising doorknobs, phones, remotes, anything that you would put your hands on basically, and just do that regularly. For people who are in the at-risk groups, there are extra measures that you need to be taken. So you need to stay at home and make sure that you don't have visitors. If you absolutely have to go out for, say, a prescription or for shopping, then make sure that supermarkets have now, they have dedicated hours for NHS staff, people in at-risk groups, and I think pregnant mums, which I guess it falls into an at-risk group. If you do absolutely have to have visitors and there's no avoiding it, make sure that you sanitise all the surfaces that they've touched. Ideally, have food and prescriptions and any other supplies delivered to you. What I do is I've put a note upon the door explaining that I'm in at-risk groups and I'm unable to take my shopping off of the step. So the arrangement is that somebody will come in. Somebody won't come in. Somebody will come to deliver what I need. On Sunday night, I had my grocery delivery. And because they're trying to keep the driver's contact with people to a minimum, the grocery stores will get the driver to phone you. And that meant that when I had a substitute that I needed taking out, because it didn't come off the back of the truck, then he was able to take it back for me. Whereas once it's come off the truck at the moment, they won't accept substitutes back, they won't take them back. When he actually got to the front door, in our house, we've got the hallway, the inside porch door and the outside porch door. So he came to the outside porch door and I opened it and I stood back into the hallway so that there was 6 feet between me and the front door. And he put the bags of groceries in the porch and stepped out. Now you can have a chat with them if they're, sometimes you get delivery drivers and they're happy to have a chat, and you can do that. Just make sure you maintain the distance. Keep hand sanitizer within your reach, whether it's because you have mobility issues or because you can't wash your hands so easily. I have contact dermatitis, so I can't wash my hands more than a couple of times a day without that flaring up. And so, yeah, use hand sanitizer and keep that within your reach. The other reason might be if you can't leave your room because people are going outside or because somebody else in the house is already infected. If they're infected, they should be in their room anyway. But, you know, if they're infected, make sure that you stay in your room. Also, if other people in the house are going out, make sure you maintain the 2 metre 6 foot distance. Make sure before you prepare food to sanitize the surface down. It is so easy if somebody was to sneeze and then not pay attention to what they're doing. I've got somebody in the house like this, then they may put their hand down on a surface before they turn to wash their hands. And so you need to be making sure that the surface is sanitised before you prepare your food, especially if you're bringing your food up to your room for any reason. You need to keep anything like that out of your room, especially because when you sleep in there, that's the air you're breathing. You don't want anything in your room. So yes, that's pretty much it. Oh, there is one more thing. Try not to pay too much attention to silly claims in the media. I know it's more easily said than done, but I mean, one example recently is that The Sun wrote an article claiming that a blood pressure medication and a heart failure medication, I can't remember the names, were making people more easily infected with coronavirus. Now, in response, a panel of doctors came together and researched this, and essentially they debunked it, and they found no evidence for it, etc. And there's all sorts of these claims going around the media, especially the newspapers. To be honest, personally, I would stick to the BBC, NHS website, .gov website, and then if you've got any health professionals in your family or your friends, for example, we've got a gentleman at our church who's a GP, they're the people that you should be listening to, not silly newspapers. So yes, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I'll be having some more coronavirus related videos coming out soon, and yeah, I'll see you again soon. Bye.